Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. I welcome you all to the MCQ series on finance. Today we'll be discussing MCQs on options. Yesterday we had spoke about derivatives with respect to future forwards and swaps. Today we'll continue the topic of derivative, but today we'll be discussing MCQs on options. Okay? Now, before beginning the session, I have a very good news for you that we at EduTap have bought a comprehensive guidebook for RBI Grade B and SEBI Grade A for all of you. हर एस्पिरेंट को एक एग्जाम के बारे में रेलिवेंट इंफॉर्मेशन फाइंड आउट करने में बहुत समय लग जाती है. लेट इट बी द एग्जाम पैटर्न, द रोल ऑफ द जॉब, द कट ऑफ्स विच आर प्रिवेलिंग इन द वेरियस एग्जाम्स, the perks which you would be receiving, everything. और ये खोजने में लोगों का इतना समय लग जाता है और रेलिवेंट इंफॉर्मेशन मिलना आज की डेट में बहुत मुश्किल है. So we are helping you by providing you this guidebook wherein you will find all the necessary informations और this is a must for you. इसको पढ़ने के बाद आपको कोई भी confusion आगे नहीं होगी. Let it be the pattern, let it be the syllabus, the sources which you have to refer. द इंटरव्यू स्टेज में प्रोसेस क्या है, उसके बाद डिटेल्ड सिलेबस, ये सब आपको इस बुक में मिल जाएगी. लाइकवाइज वी हैव आल्सो बॉट you a guidebook for SEBI Grade A as well. The link of the same is given in the description box. It is a must for you, so do download it. And last but not the least, आपको last में you will get a 6 steps formula on how to crack the exam. Let's begin the session. Now, before moving further, I had given you a homework question on time value of money, and these were the people who answered the question right. It was Aman, Kartika, Shubham, and Prashant. The correct option to the time value question was option C. Now, let's move ahead. Now, the question which I gave you yesterday on derivatives. The question said that which of the following statement is or are true. The correct option to the question is option E, that is all of above. It says that in long position, the investor is hoping the price to rise. Long position में who hopes the price to rise? It is the buyer who feels कि there should be a price rise. It says that long position means investors purchase call option. Long का क्या मतलब है? Purchasing something. So these two statements are right. A long put is a position which involves the purchase of a put option. Long put. It simply means buying a put option. ठीक है? Buying a put option का क्या मतलब है? We'll get to know this further in this session. And the last option says that a put option rises in value if the underlying drops in its value. Always keep in mind that the buyer and seller have a opposite viewpoint. ठीक है? तो अगर एक पर्सन ये सोचता है कि प्राइस राइज होगा, तो दूसरा पर्सन इसीलिए डेरिवेटिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आता है क्योंकि वो सोचता है देयर विल बी अ ड्रॉप इन द प्राइस. So the buyer expects the price to rise and the seller expects the price of the underlying to drop. ठीक है? So the correct option to this question is answer E. Now I'll let you know the people who answered this right in tomorrow's session. Now let's begin today's session. The first question says that a put option has a strike price of rupees 35. The price of the underlying stock is currently at rupees 42. Then what is the put option called? Is it at the money? Is it out of money? Is it in the money? Or it is both at or out of money or none of the above? ठीक है? Now let us first understand what is an option. Just a quick revision. ऑप्शन क्या है? ऑप्शन इज अ डेरिवेटिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. ठीक है? इट इज अ डेरिवेटिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, बट अनलाइक फ्यूचर्स एंड फॉरवर्ड्स, here the buyers are not obliged. The buyer of the put option, ठीक है, has the right but he is not, ठीक है, ये याद रखना, he is not obliged, ठीक है, he is not obliged to close the contract. This is the biggest difference. Now when I say a put option, when I speak about a person who is buying a put option, what does he do? Who is a buyer of a put? A buyer of a put is a person who has the right but not the obligation, क्या, किस चीज का, to sell. याद रखना, whenever I say कि buyer का मतलब हर बार खरीदना नहीं होता. Buyer of put is a person who has the right but not the obligation to sell the contract. ठीक है. Now this price 35, which I am referring to a strike price, is nothing but the price mentioned in the agreement. ठीक है, मतलब when the buyer and seller gets into the contract, they would have agreed to pay a certain price. That price is known as the strike price, and in the given question the strike price is 35. Now it says the price of the underlying stock is currently at 42. Now what is this 42? It is the current market price, ठीक है, और the spot price. मतलब अभी मार्केट में ये कितने पे ट्रेड कर रही है? 42 पे, ठीक है. Now the buyer of the put option decides to exercise his rights based on certain criteria. Those criteria are known as at money, out of money, in the money. So let us understand each of them in detail. ठीक है. Let us understand what is at the money. ठीक है. Now when the strike price of the contract becomes, ये ऐसे समझो, जब strike price becomes almost equal to your मार्केट प्राइस, तो इस केस में क्या हो रहा है? इज 35 इक्वल टू 42? नो. तो द पुट ऑप्शन इज नॉट सेट टू बी एट द मनी. जब पुट ऑप्शन का स्ट्राइक प्राइस एंड स्पॉट प्राइस दोनों ऑलमोस्ट बराबर होगा, उस चीज को वी से एट द मनी ऑप्शन. द सेकेंड ऑप्शन इज आउट ऑफ मनी. नाउ firstly, keep in mind, why did the buyer of put option get into a contract? He feels that the price of the underlying will fall in the future. ठीक है? That is the biggest reason he wants to sell his underlying. ठीक है? So out of money का मतलब है कि when the strike price is लेस देन द स्पॉट प्राइस, मतलब मार्केट में एसेट का वैल्यू ज्यादा है लेकिन उसने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में क्या अग्री किया? कम प्राइस में. ठीक है. तो इन दिस केस व्हाट इज द स्ट्राइक प्राइस? स्ट्राइक प्राइस इज 35 and in the market the price is higher which is not equal to 42. तो मतलब if this buyer sells the contract in the market, he can get 42 rupees, but unlike he has made an agreement of rupees 35. So will he execute this contract? No. That situation when the strike price is lesser than the current price, that type of situation is known as out of money. And in this case, out of money is the correct answer. ठीक है. Now what is in the money? In the money का बहुत सिंपल सा मतलब है कि as his viewpoints, seller के viewpoint के हिसाब से, if the price reduces in the market on a future date, if the strike price is greater, in case of in the money the strike price is greater than the current price. ठीक है. मान लो अगर स्ट्राइक प्राइस इसके हिसाब से 35 है और फ्यूचर डेट में लेट्स से आफ्टर 1 मंथ जब ये एक्सपायर होगा, लेट्स अज्यूम द प्राइस प्रिवेलिंग गोज टू 20. तो इन दिस केस द सेलर वुड exercise his right and the buyer has to take this contract. ठीक है, तो in that case when the strike price is greater than the current price, the seller of the put option, I'm sorry, the buyer of the put option who is actually selling the contract, ठीक है, the buyer not the seller, buyer of the put option would be known in the money. ठीक है, I hope you understood. So this is what it is given here. A put option is said to be in the money when the spot price is lower than the strike price. ठीक है, मतलब इस केस में the buyer of the put would be in profit. ठीक है, आउट ऑफ मनी क्या है, सेम व्हेन द स्पॉट प्राइस, ठीक है, इज हायर एज आई सेड यू, एंड एट द मनी व्हेन बोथ ऑफ देम आर सेम. ठीक है, नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द सेकंड क्वेश्चन. द क्वेश्चन सेज दैट अ कॉल ऑप्शन विथ अ स्ट्राइक प्राइस ऑफ 55 कैन बी बॉट फॉर 4. What will be the seller's net profit if the stock price is 52 when the call expires? Now what is a call option? ठीक है, the call option में क्या होता है, it gives the buyer the right to buy but he is not obliged, है ना, क्या, he is not obliged to buy unlike in case of a future and a forward contract. So now what is this rupees 4? ठीक है, the statement says that the call option can be bought for rupees 4. The strike price is 55. तो क्या तब फिर मैम आप क्या कह रहे हो कि वो 4 रुपीज पे क्या खरीद रहा है? So always remember that in case of an option, the buyer or seller has to pay premium amount. And this 4 rupees in this question is the premium amount. ठीक है, मैम क्यों प्रीमियम पे कर रहे हैं? See, unlike in case of a future and a forward contract where both the parties were obliged, ठीक है, both the parties, but यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है. In case of an option, if it is a call option, the buyer has the right but he is not obliged to make the contract fulfilled at the end of the expiry date. Likewise the put option में the buyer, वो कौन है buyer? The seller of the put, he has the right but not the obligation. So इस uncertainty, obligation नहीं है, मतलब वो चाहे तो he cannot conclude the contract. So in order to protect the investor, the other party, actually the call option buyer in this case has to pay a premium of rupees 4. ठीक है, मतलब कल को अगर वो डील एग्जीक्यूट ना करे तो उस केस में the profit made by the other person would be the premium received. ठीक है, अब समझ आ रहा है ऊपर ऊपर कि प्रीमियम क्या होता है. Now the question says that currently the stock is trading at rupees 52. Then what will be the seller's net profit? ठीक है, let's understand this question. The right answer to the question is option A. It is 4. Now we'll understand this. चलो, सबसे पहले as I said you, what is a call option? It gives the holder the right to buy. Call में क्या है? Right to buy but not the obligation to buy. ठीक है, now when would the buyer make profit? ऐसे सोचो, as I said you that the buyer and seller has a opposite viewpoint. ठीक है, opposite viewpoint है दोनों का. When would the buyer make a profit? Buyer क्या सोचता है कि future में there should be an increase in the price. He has a bullish viewpoint basically. ठीक है, whereas the seller of the contract has a bearish viewpoint. So the same thing is written here, that the buyer of the call hopes that there will be substantial increase in the price before the contract expires. ठीक है, now क्या होता है, spot price क्या था इस केस में 52 and strike price क्या है 55. मतलब currently stock कितने पे ट्रेड कर रही है 52 रुपीज में. Now प्रीमियम कितना पे कर रहा है बायर, क्योंकि ही इज नॉट ऑब्लाइज्ड, तो ही हैज टू पे द प्रीमियम पेड किसको करेगा, वो सेलर को करेगा, क्योंकि इन केस ही डिनाइज टू एक्सेस मेक द ट्रांजैक्शन कंप्लीट, तो seller would be at a potential loss, so that loss is covered using this premium. तो seller को कितना प्रीमियम मिल रहा है, ₹4. ठीक है. Now let us understand, the strike price is ₹55 now, which is greater than the spot price. ठीक है. अब क्या है, the buyer क्या करेगा, will he execute the contract? Think practically. Now, since the spot price of the contract is greater, the buyer can buy this. क्यों? क्योंकि मार्केट में तो उसको ये एसेट क्या हो रहा है, कम दाम पे मिल रहा है. ठीक है, लेकिन उसने स्ट्राइक कितने पे किया, ₹55 पे. तो will he execute the contract? No, he will not execute the contract, given the simple reason that the strike price is greater. मतलब वो ₹3 यहाँ पे एक्स्ट्रा क्यों पे करके किसी एसेट को खरीदेगा, आप ऐसे सोचो ना. इफ द बायर कैन बाय द सेम एसेट फॉर ₹52 इन द मार्केट. ठीक है, तो इन दिस केस ही विल नॉट एग्जीक्यूट द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. नाउ अब क्या है, प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट इन केस ऑफ ऑप्शंस द बायर हैज अनलिमिटेड प्रॉफिट. ठीक है, he has a unlimited profit making capability. लेकिन the seller इस केस में क्या है, उसका मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट कितना रह गया, उसका मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट क्या है, the maximum profit which he made is the premium he received. ठीक है, उसको प्रीमियम क्या मिला, ₹4. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तो एग्जीक्यूट नहीं हुआ ना, तो इसको कितना पैसा मिल गया, ₹4 जो प्रीमियम डिपॉजिट किया था बायर. That is the profit which will be received by the seller. ठीक है, समझ रहे हो what is happening? The current market price is higher. ठीक है, I'm sorry, the current market price is lower than the strike price. I'm extremely sorry. The strike price was 55, but market में the same stock is available at a lower price. So naturally, and even ऐसे सोचो, it is very simple that we will not buy something at a higher cost if other prevailing options are available to us at a lesser cost. तो इस केस में the buyer of the call option will not execute the contract, which means at expiry there is no transaction taking place, but जो profit seller को मिलेगा, the maximum profit is the premium he receives. ठीक है, so always remember a very simple fact that these both buyers and sellers have a opposite viewpoint, and the buyer would benefit if the price increases in the future, and the seller would benefit if the price decreases in future. And always remember, when will the buyer of the call option execute the contract? If the strike price was, what can you tell me, when would the buyer execute the contract? He would execute when the spot price is greater than the strike price. क्यों? क्योंकि उसको सस्ते में मिल रही है सामान. ठीक है, I hope you understood. Now let's move to the third question. The third question says, who among the following has the right to sell an asset at a predetermined price? Please read the question carefully. It is right, not the obligation. ठीक है, तो in a contract दो लोग होते हैं. There is a buyer and there is a seller. This seller is also known as writer of the contract. ठीक है, so it says that a call buyer, a put buyer, a call writer, a put writer, and none of the above. So question basically पूछ रहा है, who has the right to sell? So the correct answer to the question is option B, a put buyer. As I said you, who is a put buyer? A person who has the right but not the obligation to sell the contract. Very simple. And who is a put writer? वो बंदा जो खरीदेगा, who will be buying the asset. This guy is going to sell the asset. He, the buyer in this case, would be obliged, but the actually the put buyer who just has the right to sell, ठीक है, and who is a put writer, जो बंदा obliged है इस स्टॉक को या अंडरलाइन को खरीदने में. And likewise a call buyer and a call writer. Buyer of the call कौन है? Who has the right but not the obligation to buy. And call writer कौन है? Is simply the seller. ठीक है. I hope this question is clear. Let's move to question 4. The question says that if the strike price of the call option is rupees 400 and the premium is 50, then what is break even point for the option? Firstly, what is break even point? Break even point is nothing, the point at which the person makes no profit या no loss. ठीक है. We would have heard this term very commonly. वो अमाउंट है जहां पे इंसान को ना ही प्रॉफिट होता है ना ही लॉस होता है. ठीक है. सो द call option, which means at what point would the buyer of the call option, it says that the premium is 50 and what is the break even point of the option. मतलब it's simply asking that किस price के ऊपर the buyer would start making profit या किस price के नीचे that particular price, मतलब इस प्राइस के ऊपर ना, इस ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट के ऊपर द पर्सन मेक्स प्रॉफिट एंड इस पॉइंट के नीचे द पर्सन इनकर्स लॉसेस. ठीक है. तो द क्वेश्चन आस्क्स कि कितने प्राइस के बाद होगा. सो लेट अस सी हाउ वी सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन, बट द करेक्ट आंसर इज 450. लेट अस सी हाउ वी विल सॉल्व दिस. सी इट इज वेरी सिंपल दैट कॉल ऑप्शन में क्या होगा, ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट इज सिंपली कैलकुलेटेड बाय एडिंग द प्रीमियम पेड एंड द स्ट्राइक प्राइस. So in this case, what was the strike price? The strike price was 400 and what premium did the person pay? It is 50. So which means above rupees 450, the person would start making profit. Till 450, this person is making no loss, no profit. And above this point, the person is going to make profit. समझ आ रहे हैं ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट के? वो पॉइंट जहां पे person does not make any profit or loss. Let's move to the 5th question. The question says that which among the following is potentially obliged? Read the word carefully. Potentially obliged to sell an asset at a predetermined price. What is a predetermined price? The strike price. ठीक है. So which person is obliged? Is it a call buyer? Is it a put buyer? Is it a call writer, a put writer, or all of the above? Now the correct answer to the question is call writer. Now who is a writer? I said you just before some time that he is the seller of the contract. Now in case of a call option, the buyer has the right to sell. ठीक है. याद रखो इस चीज को, बहुत सिंपल से क्वेश्चन है. राइट टू सेल बट ही इज नॉट ऑब्लाइज्ड. हु इज ऑब्लाइज्ड? द सेलर. The seller or writer is obliged to sell the asset. ठीक है. At a predetermined price or a strike price. Now let's move ahead, and this is your homework question for today, which asks you the advantage of options over futures. Do let me know the answer in the comment section and I'll let you know the people who answered this right. Lastly, if you are new to our channel, I request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest updates on various regulatory body exams. You can join our Telegram group to receive the PDFs of the session. And if you have any doubts, you can contact us in this given number. Thank you.